everybody, welcome back. It's of course Sport Federation TV. We're talking about sport in the Western Cape across our districts, of course our various national codes that are structured under the SASCOC structure. Yes, the weather, as we've said, has changed, and finally there's a bit of sunshine and everybody's getting back into the swing of things. You'll know we've spoken a lot about sailing and rowing and a number of our codes in the last couple of weeks. Of course, last week we did talk a little bit about coastal rowing. One of our athletes going to Italy to compete there in the, I believe, the Coastal Rowing World Championships. But joining me now back in studio, or at least in studio with us for the first time, is Thato Mabelane, also from Coastal Rowing in the Western Cape. Thato, did I get that right?
Yeah, that's fine. Cape Coastal Rowing.
Cape Coastal Rowing. Yeah. That's your club, right?
Yeah, that's my club. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
How long have you been involved with rowing yourself?
Sure. I've been rowing since I was 14, so 27 years. But with Cape Coastal, I joined them in 2020.
So what is, I mean, we had a brief explanation from the kids the other day, and they were explaining to us coastal rowing and the size of the boat and the difference between what we think of as forward rowing and backward rowing. Just give us an explanation. Coastal rowing, what is it?
So coastal rowing is basically rowing in the sea. So that's why the definition is coastal rowing. So we row at sea. We use boats that are purpose-built for rowing at the sea.
Yeah.
So there's two types of rowing. There's fine boat racing, which is like the fine, like racing shells.
Those are the guys that are doing like the Oxford and the Cambridge
That's
racing.
the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. And then we exist. Our boats are just slightly bigger than that, and our riggers fold over so that we don't tip, because to be able to handle the swells of the ocean. And in South Africa, coastal rowing has been around for about 10 years. That's how long our club has been around. And we are trying to grow that discipline into other provinces as well, and getting other fine boat, traditional fine boat rowers to get access to coastal rowing. Yeah.
So you've had a lot of experience in rowing yourself. You've competed for South Africa. You're an international rower. I think, did you row around the world, or was it just only one ocean?
One ocean, from
just one ocean.
yeah, from Spain to Barbados.
Okay, all right.
Atlantic, yeah.
All right. Let's just say it's still a bit of coverage that you've done in your time.
Yep.
Of course, proudly flying the flag for South Africa, competing as a rower at the highest level, competing then or sailing in the ocean. How do you bring that across to the kids that are busy learning coastal rowing and some of those experiences? I mean, rowing can't be that easy.
So basically, we just coach them into the sport. So what we do, our Cape Coastal Rowing Club has a Learn to Row program called Low Hill. I think the kids were here a couple of weeks ago. So our members give off their time to coach the kids. So every Friday, every Saturday, the kids come to the club and they get coached on how to actually row, the discipline of rowing. So we teach them how to capsize, which is called like a sculling test. So they come on the boat, they fall out, and they fall back, and then they learn how to get back on, obviously, in case something happens in the ocean. So we give them those skills. We transfer the skills of actual technical rowing, and then from time to time we also organize like social regattas for the kids to race. And
I keep thinking that the challenge for you guys is maybe a little bit different to the other sport codes who physically can coach somebody right in front of them on a field or in a court. You guys have to coach somebody on water, and they're not always close to you. It's a bit challenging.
No. So how it works is that we would have like a quad, which is a 4-man boat, and then we'd have the coach actually sitting on the coxswain seat. So do you understand about what a cox does?
I understand it, but maybe I also don't understand it, nor the people watching. So maybe you must explain it to us.
Okay, so basically, in a rowing boat, if it's a quad, it's got to be coxed. So as rowers, we face that way, but we're going that way. So it's backwards, right?
So it's basically a guy calling the shots from the front.
And also the guy that's navigating, or girl. So the coach would actually sit in the cox's seat, so they can see all the crew. So they coach from the cox's seat. So they're navigating, turning the boat, and also coaching at the same time. So we are quite very close to them.
The kids in the beginning, are they a little bit scared going into the big ocean? I mean, they must have also some amazing experiences on the water.
So initially, what the program does, it's that it teaches the kids water safety. So we actually get them to actually do a sculling test, as I said. So they swim. If they've got life jackets, they swim, and we sort of familiarize them with the water, and then we teach them the technical skills being on the boat and how to, if you capsize, how do you get back on. So we teach them the skills of being confident in a boat.
Right, so there's an amazing, it looks like there's an amazing process here of getting involved in sport, getting involved in rowing.
Yes.
How do kids join? I mean, if any kid that's watching this now, in fact, any mom or dad that's watching this now is probably listening to you and going, wow, what an amazing program.
Yeah.
Coastal rowing, I'd like to get my kids signed up. How do they do that?
Okay, cool. So we've got something called a Learn to Row program. It's not specifically for Law Hill.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to pay a certain fee to obviously learn.
Yeah.
So they can go on Cape Coastal Rowing Club on Facebook or on Instagram, and then come and sign up and ask questions. Yeah.
So what's day one look like for a typical, if you were to say, for example, have an open day?
Yeah.
And you're of course based in Simonstown.
Yes.
At the False Bay Rowing Club.
At the False Bay Yacht Club.
False Bay Yacht Club.
Yeah, we are Cape Coastal Rowing Club, located in False Bay Yacht Club.
All right, and it's in Simonstown.
Yes.
Okay, so if people had to pitch up and they'd, get on the train maybe even go to Simonstown and find you, what would day one look like? Is there someone there then that would say hello? And
so
and what would they like bring with? Do you have to bring with a wetsuit?
No. So basically, how you would sign yourself up into the program, it's obviously Learn to Row program. We've got a WhatsApp group specifically for that.
Yeah.
And then one of our members would actually say, okay, cool, I'll take you out. And then we don't put, on your first day, we don't put you in a quad because you don't know how to row yet. So we put you in a double. So an experienced rower will be with you in a double. So it's a double, it's a two-man boat.
Yeah.
And then we just take you around the bay just to learn the basics of this is how you touch, this is how you feather. Rowing is quite technical. This is how you square, close the gate. This is how not to fall in.
So what do you see as coming next? I mean, you've explained to us now, kid arrives or mom or dad arrives or anybody arrives and they start coastal rowing. They're at the Coastal Rowing Yacht Club in Simonstown. Which is of course in False Bay, but what comes next? Is it all social? Do you?
It depends. It depends on
Is it all about health and fitness? I mean, do you just
So traditionally our club is a social club. So most of our club members are retired of retired age. We row about 4 or 5 times a week. So during the week we row maybe 3 sessions. On the weekend, that's our main get together. We row on a Saturday and on a Sunday. We go quite far, distances of about 15, 18 kilometers.
Out of the ocean, into the ocean?
Into the ocean, yeah.
Wow.
So we row from False Bay all the way to Miller's Point. Sometimes we row to Cock Bay.
Yes.
We've done Cape Point rows.
But there must be so much in just that experience alone for the kids to understand things about confidence.
Yes.
A little bit about your own
situational awareness, safety, reading the tides. So we teach a lot.
So is there also a connection between coastal rowing and fine boat rowing? Can one do both?
Yes, you can. But people that start in coastal, it's very difficult to transfer. But so what we try and sort of advocate is that people need to also go into the fine boats because it's quite a technical one. It's a smaller boat, and it's almost like riding a BMW. If you do this, you can fall in. Yeah. Whereas in the coastal boat, you can it's quite balanced.
Thato, we're going to leave it at that. We definitely have to get you guys back in studio to keep talking about this.
Absolutely.
Amazing to find out what you guys are doing from a sports development point of view.
Absolutely.
Essentially growing the sport from scratch. That's what it looks like. But yet you've got a lot of success, including athletes already in such a short time frame competing overseas and internationally. So
and our secret weapon is we have a very, 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 very established former national rower, Derek Reed, who actually is one of our founders of our club.
Right.
So he gives his free technical expertise to everybody that comes. So George was coached by him.
Amazing.
That's our secret weapon.
Can't wait to get you back. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
There we go, folks. Thato Mabelane, of course, from Cape Coastal Rowing, and of course Western Cape Rowing, just getting stronger and stronger. And when you've got such good administrative back-end solutions, then it can just get better. But we'll talk more about coastal rowing and Cape Coastal Rowing in the months and weeks and days ahead of us. That's a wrap from us. We'll be back in a second. Don't go away.